Hey folks, this is me, Vishwas Narayan. I'm the host of this DevOps chat show. And trust me, one of the most desired guests, I would love to call him again and again. So that's why I've called him again after a week. It's always that one intuitive understanding that I always wanted. Like, if this world is so data hungry, then how to automate the satisfaction of that hunger? Every model requires data and everything has its own requirement today. So today I'm very glad that Monimoy sir is there and he's giving us a lot of insights. Trust me, all the insights that he gives, I try to inculcate in my day-to-day work. Like, this is what I will be doing for my research, or else anything. That's what I've always been to. So thank you so much, sir, for being part of this DevOps chat series. Means a lot, because there's a lot of introduction that we need as an youngsters for this world of AI and the deep learning. So I think it's a humble attempt from my side to do this, and thank you so much for being part of this entire DevOps chat series. Sure. Yeah. Let's just go on with this question. Like, what is data engineering today for the world that is defining the problem statement? So, how has it really defined the problem statement today when we think of the world through the data engineering?
So data engineering means is everything to do with the data, right? Okay. So we collect raw data from various sources. Okay. How to ingest the data? Okay. So there may be streaming applications, batch applications, and all these things. So how to stream? There are different sources are there, right? Okay. And different applications, they store the data in different formats and all this stuff. Okay. It can be also devices, right? Some of the cases telemetry data is being used by the devices and things. Okay. So first part is the ingestion, data ingestion. Okay. Second part is the cleaning up and all the processings and things, normalizations and stuff. Okay. Then if there are duplicate records, remove those stuff. All these things, that is so that it's something like you cannot get a raw data and make it any system to work, right? You need to do some kind of processing pipeline to get it in a form which can be utilized, right? Okay. So ingestion, then processing, and then you can store, right? You can store in maybe after that S3 buckets or some data warehouse and things, right? Okay. And but there are multiple applications. It can be either streaming applications or it can be historical data and all these things. So all this means comes in under the data engineering, along with a lot of technologies like you must have heard of the Kafka, Kinesis, and things, and then maybe database and all, or Kubeflow, all these things. Right? That's coming to the data engineering part of it. Okay.
Yeah, that's what, because there was an existence of huge amount of data, we now found a purpose, like how to automate it, now how to reduce the work. So it has always been that definition. So yeah, but like, what is it all about when you were first introduced to the world of data engineers talking DevOps? Like, how was that journey all about? When you think about that journey, when you just entered a room full of people talking DevOps, doing data engineering.
Okay. So and DevOps and data engineering goes hand in hand. Okay. So any data that we do, whether it's streaming data or any kind of historical data and stuff, right? It DevOps is nothing but a set of tools, right? Whatever CI/CD tools and maybe Jenkins and all these things which makes the pipelines easier, and also it's the integration of humans and the tools together. Okay. Data engineering is a kind of data part of it, right? It's taking the data and processing it. Okay. So DevOps is the process, and data engineering is the data is the real thing that is going on, right? And you get value out of it. And I think that three V's that define that: volume, variety, and other things. So that's how we define that data engineering stuff in the traditional way, right? Okay. You are in mute.
Oh, sorry. Like, there is always that velocity component that comes up. Like, it says that, okay, like, how fast can we get the data out for the world? There is always that reason to give for us. So, and also, like, what's the need of the hour when we approach a problem statement? So we have all the things that we are just defining today. Like, what is it all about when we are thinking about problem solving? Like, how should we approach it today when we have a lot of automation going behind the entire process that we have considered to be?
So the thing is that organizations are kind of making this streamlined, okay, right from the ingestion to the processing till get it some value out of it, like running the machine learning pipelines after that, and get their real time analytics and stuff, okay. A lot of organizations, right? They miss a lot of there are a lot of use cases. So some organizations may be using that engineering part and all these things to get validations, like marketing organizations, right? Think about marketing organizations, okay. So how do you know that there are a lot of people are coming to the maybe site, right? The company's site and showing interest, okay. How to convert this into the actual potential customer to the actual customer deals and things, right? Okay. So we cannot do it. So a lot of clicks are going on. So even a single click, right? That itself is a data for us, right? So data is the new fuel for whatever terminology you say it, right? So the thing is that how to make this into the value, right? Okay, whether it's machine learning or whatever other kind of values and things, right? That is what organization is looking into it now, okay. So even a single click is also kind of think about it's a value, right? Who is doing it, from where doing it. So all these analytics you can go with it, and then you can means companies can form a profile and things, right? So those things are parallelly gone, and ultimately it's all about value and kind of how means companies can utilize that, okay, to their own kind of uh, pipeline or whatever value addition system.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because look, most of the time when we think of, okay, there is an existence of automation, what if that automation starts breaking? Like, there is always that fear that goes behind in all the process that we are. But like, what's the proof that says that like there was no standardized solution? Because to some people, they are like, okay, DevOps is this only. Like, if I have to use Jenkins, it's only Jenkins. If I have to do sort of a deploy, it's Octopus deploy or Argo CD or something. So there is always that one different understanding that always every people have. Like, some people say that this is not the right solution, just keep evolving, let's keep building something new. Like, breaking the things is something which we all really want to do today. This is what it's all about. So what is it all about when we have a problem statement and we need to prove that this can also be a problem solution? Like, there is a solution for this problem right now, and organization has a different perception for all the chaos. Like, if it breaks, it breaks, then just burn the lamp and just get the system run up and running. So it's all about that. So what is it all about when organization is perceiving chaos in their developer environment? Like, how are they defining the purpose for that entire system design?
So you are right that means different organizations has got different needs, right? You cannot have a one single architecture and that follows everything. That does not work out. Okay. Some organizations may be taking Kubeflow as their pipeline and things. Some organizations may be taking the other things. So there are based on their organizational requirement, they may fine tune it. Okay. But at the same time, I mean, so I mean also that architecture is also evolving. Okay, nobody wants to do it anything from the scratch, right? So reusable components and then how to utilize it, okay, and also what are the best practices, right? Okay, so those needs to be incorporated and into the system so that there is no wastage in things, and also kind of everything is streamlined, right? Okay, we don't want any kind of a downtime and things because of maybe some bugs in some components and things. So we know, I mean, now the communities are very aware, right? And another thing that is very things is that the contribution of the open source community, okay, is not about that. Okay, we just somebody builds a system in this. Now it open source community is a very kind of active and kind of they got supports and things, right? So a lot of technologies that came up, right? That are all contributions of open source communities. but there is also risk there. Okay, I think you've heard of the Log4j and things, right? Okay, this is a very hot topic in the security domains. Okay, there is risk is there. Okay, but at the same time, means if you do the open source community, we know that there will be supports and and sometimes some companies also take care of this any support kind of things, right? Okay, so proven technologies actually win. Okay, and then ultimately another few years we'll see only few technologies. Okay, so I can tell you that in 2000 or all the time, right, when the .com and thing came up, right, there are a lot of technologies were there. Okay, Java, then there are .NET and all these technologies. Okay, ultimately what happened is that most of the people adopted the Java way. I'm not saying .NET is still not is there, of course. Okay, but what I want to say is that Java and things become more standardized. Okay, same way data, any kind of data engineering plus data science stuff, right? This is also, I think now it's a time when people are kind of exploring it, and a lot of companies are putting into production. Okay, so all the experiences that's there, right, that is will be kind of community experiences. And another thing you think about it, that a lot of time, right, the companies are also giving it free. Like think about BART model and all these things, right? Those are given by the companies itself for the worldwide community and things. Okay, so the thing is that it's a combination of means it's not isolated thing. Okay, that you do something in isolated Ireland. That's not going on, right? It's a kind of collective effort, and people are collaborating and things, and that's how it is growing.
Companies today have their own center of excellence, right? That's the biggest barrier, I feel. So because sometimes, like, when you have that kind of an hierarchy, then nobody has an entrance into the production system. I think that's the biggest chaos. Like, there is an insight from every person, right? You need to be able to collect it, or else you're like, okay, what next? What is it going to break? Like, it's obviously going to break. Production environment is built to break. You can't really deny the fact that it's not going to break. So now when we have a culture which have a lot of governance and policy which has been automated right now, like it's always automated right now, and there is a talk in the town saying that, okay, IAC existed, so now IAC is transforming into governance as code, policy as code, and there is huge amount of automation which is going behind securitizing the entire infrastructure, like SAST, static application security testing, and things like that. So there's a lot of things coming up. So what is the need of the hour when we think of the solution for the tomorrow's deployment that we are talking today? Because now we feel that, okay, we are now deploying on the cloud, it's working fine, but what about edge compute? So we need to collect the data from the edge, cloud, and it's hybrid at the end of the day. So what is it all about when we are thinking of the deployments at the scale and deployment on different varieties of targets that we are talking today? So how is that culture going to be defined for the future world?
Okay, so you have asked a very good question, right? So deployments are varying, right? Okay, and you're right that means whatever works today may not work tomorrow. Okay, because needs and things are things scaling and auto scaling and all these things are needed, right? So today maybe I have means company has maybe 100 customers. Tomorrow it may be 10,000 customers. How they scale it and things. So then you need to think about all the strategies into the system. Means when they design the system, it should not be that okay, just today's need will be satisfied, right? Okay, when tomorrow comes, right, it should not be nobody wants to do things from the scratch and things, right? Okay, so another thing is that monolithic versus distributed applications and things. Okay, and another good point that is you mentioned about that deployment wise, right? Think about any companies and things. Okay, so a lot of cloud is there, and I think people are moving to cloud. Cloud is delivery engine is very doing very good. Okay, but enterprises, lot of enterprises, they don't want their data to be going out anyhow, because that maybe it's a lot of their intellectual properties and things are there, right? And they do not trust it. Okay, and any cloud you do it, it means that some hackers and things come. Means I think its system is also maturing and things. I know it may not happen and things, but still companies do not want to take a risk. Okay, So edge computing is also, I think, is needed. Okay, I see that this is a hybrid model. Okay, you must have think about heard about this fog computing. Okay, so fog computing is something like any local processing that you do it to be done at the edge level, right? Okay, and then cloud also will be there. Cloud also needed. Okay, but let's think about a fire alarm means there is a some there is some sensor and there is a fire alarm. Okay, do you think the cloud is going to direct at that means mitigate your things immediately? No, right? It needs to be done immediately, right? So edge is needed. Okay, while you think about a mobile device and things, right? You don't expect that cloud is going to do all these operations for you and kind of do processing. That is needed for any kind of training, a lot more trainings and things. But we need a smaller models and things, right, which can fit it into the edge devices and things. So I say there is a kind of both the it is a hybrid thing, right? You should cloud plus EOS both need to work together. Okay, that is one thing. And second thing is that there are approaches like the federated learning, right, where means companies will not give you data, right? Okay, but you can still train it, and all the weights are sent to the maybe centralized cloud and stuff. Okay, so that's how I think it's going to be there, because we cannot have that one delivery model something. We need multiple delivery models. Okay, but edge computing has got its own disadvantages also, because let's say you deployed something, it does not working and things, and how to monitor it and things. That's a pain for the companies. Okay, but we need to, I mean, it will be a mixture of both the models. That's what I see.
Yeah, but like today, when we talk DevOps, it's like everybody is coming up with their own definition. But how is the DevOps perceived in data engineering world? Like, how is industry seeing it today? Like, we still have amazing professionals who doesn't know DevOps but are ruling the data engineering world. Like, people with data bricks are coming up with their own ways in which DevOps applications can be done. Like, it's all about automation that we are talking. It's not about like DevOps tool set that we are talking about. Like Spark didn't see DevOps until probably 2016. That's where I saw DevOps and automation coming up in the Spark environment. Like that's the point where I saw industry adapting towards the automation. Like they saw the potential of it because it was all about stream data. How can we just go sit down and put down the same old commands? Like I always say, this DevOps is just a sexy looking Linux command. Like it's just Linux commands, but in a very sexy looking fashion. It's like it's the best way that you can think about how Linux command line can be automated as well. So what is it all about when we see the perception of a culture in the data engineering world? So how is industry perceiving this technology today?
So it's a DevOps, as I told, it's a process, right? What is the process to be followed? It involves tools plus all these human interactions and all these things, right? How to automate things, right? Okay, and the thing is that so one of the paradigm shift. You think about it earlier. One of our client server models are there, right? So compute was somewhere, and they used to bring data into the compute and do the processing. Now it's the other way around. Okay, your data will be residing somewhere, and then compute nodes will be from there itself, right? That's a Hadoop, Spark, everything, a principle change there, because think about shifting all the data from one place to the other. It's a huge stuff, right? You can compute, you can spawn a VM, and you can, or maybe cluster any kind of containers and things. You can do it there itself. Okay, so there are a lot of paradigm shifts happen already happened and things. Okay, and means DevOps, as I told you, these are inseparable part. Okay, we cannot say that one can exist without the other. Okay, because the thing is that if we don't have all the process and things are in place, right, then the huge volumes of data, terabytes or petabytes of data that's coming, right, how it will be handled, right? We don't expect that humans to kind of scale, right? You cannot scale when you have got 24 hours in a day. Okay, and a few hours are also spent things. Okay, so we need something to monitoring, and then means control everything, right? Needs to be there. We cannot do the human stuff. We need intelligence there. Okay, that's what machine learning and all this is coming into. How to make the intelligent decision making without human interventions. Some cases human is needed, of course. You cannot help it. Okay. So now another problem that you mentioned about that chaos and all these things in our previous question. So chaos and things happens when there is no control. Okay. Think about let's say everybody is doing his own. There is no coordination and things, right? How things will be there, right? Maybe I'm pushing one model. So after a few minutes, you say another person pushing another model. So needed some kind of control, right? So there may be some supervisor, somebody has to tell that okay, these are all staging areas. But I'm going to do this one as the my kind of production model, right? Or I know deploy that. So it needs some control, and that because human is also coming into picture. It's not that everything can be do it its own, right? It's continuously monitoring, continuously doing improvement and things among various stakeholders. What is the data scientist? What is data engineer? What is the machine learning engineer? Everybody needs to coordinate. Everybody's roles is defined how to do it, and on top of it, some decision making also, right? Over is there in the senior executives levels, and they know that what is the pros and cons and things. They can take decisions and things easily. Okay, so what I want to say is that we are actually going into a domain where data everything is exploding like anything. Okay, even our processing power is also exploding and things. So for that we need some tools and mechanisms, and that's a DevOps things. And without data we cannot do things. So these are all inseparable parts. Okay.
Yeah, I know a guy like John Willis. The playlist is on the screen, so anybody can watch it. It's an entire collection that I did for John Willis, and he was pretty amazed by the way that we. But these days, he has now started to talk about DevSecOps. Like he was talking about DevSecOps for a very long time. MLOps is also he's been talking about. Like all the things that we are talking today all merges down to like how can we deploy at scale, like how can we make sure that everybody has an access to it at any given point. Like even if we have less amount of resources, how can we do this? What is our chaos strategy? That is what, right, chaos engineering all about. So yeah, I think thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for such great insights. And it's all about that. At the end of the day, what can we really reach out to the world and say what is the potential of a data engineering through the world of DevOps? I think thank you so much for sharing such great insights. Means a lot.
Thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll end the broadcast.